Hello, YouTubes and stuffs. This is Eli. So this cast is going to be in a different style than normal. I figured that since I'm a game developer, as some of you may know, working on a game called Travail, and sometimes you need a little break from these things. And there's this cool game jam idea. I might make a game jam game, and then when I finish it, we can make Zac and Will play it and record their playing. So, this thing called the Chain Jam is a game jam where you're basically making kind of a WarioWare style game, although a little longer, so the game has to be over in a minute. And then when the game's done, it gets added into this big thing, which basically looks to be a website that loads a bunch of different games, and you have a score shared across all of them. So, I've had an idea for a simple game I've wanted to do for a while, and I figured this might be a fun way to put it in. I definitely don't have 48 hours to do it, which I think is how long you're supposed to do it for, and it's supposed to start on the 25th. I absolutely cannot do stuff on Wednesday to Friday because I work a full-time job, so I figured I'd just start and do it in my spare time instead of when I'm usually working on Travail, and see how long it can get. So my tool of choice is going to be Unity, mainly because that's what I'm used to. I figured I might try Flash or HTML5, but considering I don't ever have enough time to do anything anymore, I'm just going to stick with Unity. So, first things first, where the hell is their example project? I thought they said they had it. Let's not even worry about that for now. So, what I wanted to do to begin, let's go into Photoshop. Where are you, Photoshop? Photoshop, Adobe, there you go. Here we are. So, I wanted to, shut up Adobe, you're annoying. Make a new little thingy here. This is, wow, this is enormous. My screen resolution is quite low in order to record it at a nicer resolution. So, let's make a little design doc. We'll just make it that big, cool, and so, the game I'm thinking is this game with magnets. So, I've had this idea for a long-ass time. Actually, Seth, who works with me on Travail, is one of the artists I work with. He and I first met at a global game jam, and the theme was something like, as long as we're together, everything will go wrong, or some kind of shit like that. I don't remember. So, we basically did this jam together, and we worked with a bunch of people that we really didn't like, that we thought were kind of stupid. I mean, that's a little mean, but they were very student-y and not very experienced, and one of them in particular was extremely argumentative, and so we didn't end up doing a good game. And, I mean, who's to say I know how to make a good game, but I'm pretty sure I had a better idea, which was, more or less, this idea. So, the general gist was, you have a little guy, let's say this guy is blue, put him down here. There's your little guy. And you have the option to use two different polarities. So there's the guy down there. There's a big red magnet. So let's say that's north. Here's another magnet that's south. Maybe there's a south magnet over there. And then like another north magnet over there. Whatever. And then like let's say that there's some freaking custom shapes. There. Some spiky bits all around. Maybe this one's like halfway surrounded by spikes. I don't know. So anyway, the general idea is this little guy hits a button. Boop, boop, and he turns into... Oh, great, I drew all of these things in the same layer. How the fuck did that happen? Fucking Photoshop. So he clicks on a thingamabooble. It gives him a certain magnetic attraction at a place where he points, and then whoop, he sticks to this thing. Now this thing probably rotates around like a planet or something, so he's like rotating on the surface, and then he needs to reverse the polarity of his magnet. Oh, now he's a negatively charged thing, so he repels from this, and then he sticks to that thing or something. And this thing starts rotating around. He's about to hit the spikes. Oh god, so he has to turn it to blue and south or whatever, and then he'll fly over and hit this thing, yada yada. So the general gist was you have some kind of pointy doohickey, which is where you can aim, which is like a ray cast, very simple. And then you choose a color, not a color, a polarity, north or south. Maybe it toggles between them, and you go to that planet. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea, and that would be fun, and potentially difficult because, you know, you can have stuff moving around, you have to time it, etc. But it's not really so much about the magnetism as it is about maybe sort of like a grapple hook type game. So what I was thinking was take this idea, which I've wanted to try out for a while, and put it in this multiplayer type thing, which is what the chain game has to be. It has to be 4 players, local multiplayer. So how do I make this a local multiplayer? The big question is, do I want to require everyone to have a controller, which a lot of people do for local multiplayer and is extremely limiting in terms of who can play it. It also, especially for something like this, where it's supposed to be a game that's being played for a minute, is pretty much overkill. So, looking at my keyboard and my mouse, which are the general things people have, what the hell can I do? My idea was that normally you have this, I was thinking that you would point where you were going, right? So I'm going to point here, and that'll send me in that direction. What? No. Point here, send me there. So I'm doing on pixels, that's why I fucked up. Send me that way. Woo! Okay, so if only one player can get a mouse, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm thinking, what happens is you have this pointer, and it kind of does this sort of thing. Ooh, give me that little middle bit. That's what I want. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So you have your pointer, and it goes like this. Boo, 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 boo. Or maybe even like that. Woo, woo, woo. So it's a thing that's just kind of spinning on its own. So that kind of gives you a timer element where it's a timing element where if it's like that fast, fuck, shit, then you have to have good timing in terms of when you hit it. Also, I could maybe give 2 buttons to each person. So let's say player 1 is A and S, which I'm talking American keyboards here. A is positive, S is negative, and then player 2 could have like G and H, and then player 3 could have K and L, you know, something like that. So you literally just press and hold the button as long as you want, and then you can press a different one, etc. Maybe if you hold both, you have a neutral polarity. Cool. There we have a control scheme that probably will work decently well. So this guy points there, which causes him to fly there, and I'm just going to draw a new fucking thing, because that's not its own layer, and that's annoying. So this is the character, boop. So he presses his thing, which causes him... Did it just fucking add it to this? Sweet Christ, Photoshop! Ugh. Do it in your own layer, for fuck's sake. Damn, I must have been holding shift at the wrong time. Anyway, so you fly here, and he goes around and he flies there. Now here's where the fun part would be happening, I think. So let's say I'm flying here, and my polarity is like, you know, positive or something, or whatever, red. It would have to be up here then, sure. So I'm that big. Now let's say my pal here, or my enemy, who also is playing, also has this red polarity because he wants to attract to that. And he has attracted with this thing. He's pointing over that way. So he's trying to get to that planet, like so, or whatever the hell you call it. He's pointing like that. Let's even say like that. So the interesting thing is if you look at this like a raycast, he's actually going to hit the other guy first. So what's going to happen is instead of flying towards the blue thing as expected, he's going to repel backwards. And so once you start holding the button, I'm going to think that this thing disengages, like it disappears. So I'm holding my button, and wherever I started holding my button is where I'm attracting or repelling from, is the body that I'm relative to. So if I have pressed it when this guy was in my way, oh shit, I'm repelling actually. So that's probably not that big of a deal. But we're going to add on this interesting element of, why you do this to me? Fill it with black. Custom shape. Fire. There's fire and shit's coming up at you. So when we have this fire and shit coming at you, it's like that. As you end up getting behind, you're closer to this fire, and that's how you die, aside from obstacles in the level. So if this fellow gets repelled from this fellow, which fucking fill color got changed on this fucking shit, fuck. Because he's red, when he meant to go up to there, fuck fire, I died. He could have a chance to recover and maybe like shoot over to this guy and then over that guy or something. But it should theoretically be fast-paced enough, and this fire will be really quick so that it's like, holy shit, that's the end of me. Beep. Remember, this is a 60-second game at maximum, so I'm thinking I want it to be about 45 seconds at maximum, because if the game takes a little while to load or something, I don't want to take longer than 60 seconds. So this thing basically is going to start like here, and the players are going to start up there, and you're going to have a little thing that says, maybe it has your thing like lined up, or your thing's moving, and every time your thing moves to a useful location, it'll say like hold S when it's pointing to that. And same thing for the other players, which will be lined up along here. So this thing will immediately be like, what the fuck did you just do? Photo suck. Okay, whatever. So this thing's like going maybe pretty slowly at this point. It'll exponentially increase, how about? And so you're like, oh shit, I see that this is bad because this is big evil fiery deaths. So, oh fuck, I'll shoot there, and then, you know, there you go. There's the gameplay. So there's my game idea. Awesome. As for graphical style, I was thinking something a little similar to this, but maybe more interesting. I'll throw some stuff together in Illustrator. Probably will literally have black, red, and blue. And black will be bad shit that kills you. Red and blue will be color polarities. And players can change their color based on what they're doing. Now, maybe I have a way for the players to be neutral colored or something. I don't know. This is how game design comes in. Oh, look, this is my Prison Architect movie. I didn't mean to open that. So let's go on into Unity. Looks like I have Travail open. I'm going to go ahead and make a new project. New project. User/Eli. Look at how many things I have in here. Oh, that's just a bunch of Unity shit. What shall we call this? How about Elektromagnet? That's fucking terrible. Elektromagnet. No. Elektromagnet. Sure, whatever. Create it. Yeah, sure, whatever. I'm pretty sure I didn't change anything. Project Wizard. Go, go, go. Close the scene. Make a new one. Okay, here we is in Unity. I don't know if you guys know Unity at all. It's a pretty cool game engine. I like it because it saves me from having to worry about a lot of things that I don't like to worry about. I'm a game developer, not first really, and like a technical engineer second. I don't really like worrying about some of the dumb shit that comes with that. So one big thing about Unity is it's three-dimensional, as you can see from my little perspective thing here, and our game is obviously two-dimensional. So that being the case, we're going to have to kind of screw around and try to force it to not be three-dimensional. So first thing to look at here, we have our camera. Cameras are usual spiel. This will be what the actual game looks at. And let's make our game be a 16:9 aspect ratio, because I believe that's what they said. Somewhere in here. 69. It's probably in here. Something 16. There we go. Look at that. 16:9 aspect. Okay. Cool. So, let's go back to Unity. And we've got us at 16:9. Good. So that's generally what it'll look like there. So first things first, we have to make stuff. So let's just kind of chart out what we're doing here. I like to have some visuals to look at. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some spheres. So there's a sphere. It's currently not even within the camera's area, so let's pull it out like that. There we go. You can see the sphere on the camera there. Excellent. What we probably want in order to make things pretty also is a light. So let's create a directional light, which is kind of everything pointing such and such a way will look lit up. Let's put it like that or something. That seems interesting. There, put that. Doesn't really matter where the fuck this is. It's completely global. So now you can see our sphere's kind of lit up. It's got some shadow there. Good times were had by all. Bring it a little closer. We can see a little better. Rauch. Okay, so you got that. Let's see. So the general thing that we're looking at here is we have, let's call them planets, or I like planets. We have planets. We have characters, which are basically just planets. I mean, although these things are fixed, they actually might not be fixed later on. I mean, they might be doing some kind of motion pattern. So, rootmost thing, planet. That's the super object we'll have for everything. And then these guys, traps. So those things are also positioned and might be moving around. So maybe we should instead have an entity, which is a general common thing if you know coding type stuff. So we'll say an entity is something that can exist in this level, which is one thing we've got. Now I'm going to make this procedurally based. It's 45 seconds, so there's not much of a reason to design a level. Maybe there is, I don't know. But the main thing is that it's got to increase in difficulty, so probably the planets should be frequent and large at first. The fire will move slowly, and then the fire speeds up. The planets get smaller, there are more traps. So we've got planet, we've got level, we've got trap. So let's call this the world, because that's a nice convention I like to do. So go back into Unity, create a C#, in fact, create a folder for code. In there, we're going to put a C# script, and we're going to call it world. Great. Next thing we want, C# script entity. Next thing we want, C# script planet, which is an entity. Great. So let's start with that. I'm not going to worry about traps just yet. I think a first pass that will be nice is to have a world with a planet in it that sits there and does nothing. So, and actually one other script we probably want is the game, which I'm going to, leave that name. Great, game. Alright, so, world. Open up MonoDVL up. This is an absolutely horrendous IDE, by the way. I hate it. But it's the best option for Unity programs. Great. So we've got world. Let's say hello to it as a joke. Hello, world. Ha ha ha. It's a little programmer joke there. So I won't be teaching you how to use Unity or anything. That's not the point of this. The point of this is if you feel like watching somebody make a game, that's cool. And then you'll see Zac and Will play it theoretically eventually. So here we are. I hate their boilerplate crap that they throw in there. So, important thing that world has, I think, is entities. Unity can't have typed arrays like that. It doesn't work. Maybe it can. I don't know. It's always been a bitch when I try to do it, so I just do it like that. It's fine. And then you just typecast. C# has nice typecasty stuff. Reserved words for that. Okay, so first thing we want, of course, is to initialize entities. Okay, great. Woo, we have a world. Now